Obviously, that means that the computer decided it was no longer interested in the interweb. Uh,
Uh,
anyway, all right. Uh, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Um, that did not sway gamers, and they continued to fight the decision, despite the argument in favor from the developer. Within only a few minutes, uh, they actually pulled the tweet down, the original tweet defending the action, and then went dark for a little while. And less than 36 hours after the initial announcement, a new announcement came out going, "Our bad. Change of plans. We're out." Uh, in fact, it said, "We hear you. Based on the feedback we received, we've made a decision to cancel anything NFT related in Stalker 2." Now, not terribly surprising. Again, the feedback was rough. But again, I think some of it has to do with a little bit of a misunderstanding of what's happening. I think there's a lot of fear that the use of NFTs is going to bring the next generation of microtransactions that are going to make even standard games more expensive. Though it does not appear currently that that's the plan. Although it could be in the future. I don't know. What do you think, Abram?
NFTs.
Yeah,
I
that's my
don't I
general
don't get
take too.
NFTs. I don't get NFTs. They seem like a waste of money. They seem like a waste of time. I read a fascinating, well, not so fascinating. I read a story this week where I think there was an artist who was complaining because someone else was selling NFTs of their art.
Mm.
Like they were getting, I guess, ripped off because other people, someone else was selling an NFT of artwork that was not theirs.
Oh, that's not great.
Yeah. Um, so just to keep in mind that there's all new kinds of crime and
Absolutely.
rip off here with NFTs. I don't get the point of them. I really don't. This kind of reminds me of when I was before I had kids. I was like, I know I have a great idea for how I'm going to give a gift to my child without spending money. I will just buy myself a new car and I'll tell them it's their car, but I have to drive it. That sounds like an NFT to me. Like, listen,
Yeah.
I bought you a new car. Unfortunately, you're 5 years old, so you can't drive it. But I'll be driving it in your name. You can say it's your car. Um, you can tell all your friends. Um, so um, I now that doesn't work with kids as it probably should not.
Agreed.
And I don't think NFTs are are very useful. I mean, look, we assign a value to a lot of arbitrary things, so I get it.
True.
We assign value to baseball cards and comic books and art and I mean and pieces of paper that we call money, and so everything is given a value. Uh, Aside from things that you absolutely directly get use out of, like food, um, a lot of things are kind of a presumed value. But I don't know. The value in NFTs to me seems too abstracted from you being actually useful uh, to be worth it. But I guess they're not going anywhere. But just like cryptocurrency, they're very controversial.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah, I think that there's a place for NFTs, things that can be verified, um, from what I understand. Uh, Again, I also don't particularly care, uh, but for me, it seems like this is the place that actually makes sense for them. But I don't know. It whatever. The gamers didn't want it. They're the community. The community didn't want it. So here we are. The good news is that the developer listened to their community. Whether or not it's over a misunderstanding of what they are or a complete understanding of what they are, yeah, whatever the situation is, if your community doesn't want something and you respond to it appropriately, I think that's a good sign. You know, we saw EA respond to the Star Wars game in a similar way. The community freaked out about something, and EA went, which was totally out of character for EA to care about what the people who were going to buy their game thought. But they went, "Oh, our bad. No, we won't do that. You guys don't like that. We won't do that." Which, you know, it's good to listen to your customer base.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when it's something like gaming, you have to be more responsive to your customers because reputation is everything there. But
True.
we don't see Apple be as quite as responsive to feedback.
True.
We don't see Microsoft be quite as responsive to feedback. So,
Although the current dev build of Windows 11 has changed the start menu some.
yes,
We'll
it's
see how good it
also
is.
yeah, we'll see about that.
I'm not on the dev build, so I don't know, but
I
yeah,
think they just give you a few more icons. I don't think it's a major change.
yeah, I think that's all it is. But yeah, I like when a company listens to the customer, whether or not the customer's decision makes sense. We're not taking a position on that right this second, but the customer base had a response. The developer listened to that response, and here we are. So I think it's a good move for them to save, like you said, to save their reputation, because once a studio's name is damaged, it's hard to come back from it. Blizzard. I'm sorry, did I say that? I didn't mean to put that at the end. Uh, it's definitely a challenge to come back from an image that we talk, and it's not just in gaming. We talked about it with OnlyFans a couple months ago, right? So you know, once you have a particular image, it's hard to change that. So I think that was a good move. This week's DRM not included on F5 Live is proudly powered by Malwarebytes. Whether you use a PC, a Mac, or a mobile device, Malwarebytes Premium is the company's strongest protection ever. It fights threats that traditional antivirus software can't stop, and in addition, can cover things like worms, rogues, dialers, trojans, and a whole lot more. It allows you to use your computer and mobile devices with confidence and peace of mind. And to learn more and to get a special price, you can go to f5live.tv/malwarebytes. From one controversial topic to another, Avram, data caps. Just over a year ago, Comcast decided that in the midst of the most important time to have solid internet at home was the perfect time to introduce data caps to the 12 states that they serve that did not already have them. We talked about it the week that that announcement was made. Shortly after, the company said, okay, so we're going to delay this until 2022. Well, looking at my watch, it's almost 2022. So it was time to address the situation. And this week, Comcast announced that they were pushing the rollout further. So the wording is a little vague. They tried to make it sound like they had not planned on implementing it at all, but it also mentioned the year 2022 in particular as not being when the feature will roll out, suggesting that heading into 2023, they will once again reevaluate this very silly decision. You know, you and I talked in 2020 when they first made this announcement in November of 2020. It was just after a report had come out showing a huge increase in what are considered power users for the first time in history for obvious reasons. We did the math on the number of hours of streaming Netflix uh, that would put you over your data cap, and that didn't include, being uh, on Google or Teams calls for work or class or any of that. So I don't know. This still seems crazy. This is a company who's not exactly listening to its customer base, to go back to the last topic. It's more like they're, sticking their finger in their mouth, putting it up to the wind and seeing which way it blows and saying, well, right now it's blowing in this direction. We can't do it now. We'll wait until people aren't paying attention. That's what I
Yeah,
feel like here.
what I don't get is why they care. I mean, obviously they don't care. They must care, I guess, about public perception, but why? I mean, most people don't have a choice. That's
True.
why you have companies like Comcast doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it's why you
it's
have a company like Comcast, who is the largest internet provider and in the top 5 most hated companies in the country.
right, right, because people don't have a choice.
Right.
So if there was a choice, if there was competition, they probably wouldn't do it.
Right.
So I find it interesting that they don't want to take the publicity hit. Um, I think,
Yeah.
I mean, my understanding is with Comcast, you can buy an unlimited plan, right? If you just have to pay more for it.
From what I remember about this rollout, I don't know that there was an unlimited plan. Um, I think the current rollout did or does offer an option for it, but if I remember correctly, after the rollout, that wasn't going to be an option in these 12 states. But I might be wrong. It's been 13 months since the details came out, and I didn't freshen up on that.
So Xfinity, I see. I mean, I don't know if this is still valid, but I see a support article saying that there is unlimited data option that costs an additional 30 uh, $30 a month. This fee is independent from your actual data usage. So I don't know. You know. But anyway, I guess I here's what I want to know. If you are on Comcast Xfinity and you sign up for Peacock, which Comcast also owns,
Mm-hmm.
does that does that do they count that against your cap?
A fair question.
I mean, that would be I mean, net neutrality is no longer in place, right? So they could do that now, right? They could incentivize you to subscribe to Peacock by not charging Peacock viewing against your cap.
Yeah, that's true. T-Mobile was or is. I don't know that T-Mobile has data
Well,
caps anymore.
well,
If but at one point T-Mobile was doing a big thing like that. They were partnering with certain companies to prevent them from being part of the data usage cap. So I mean,
right.
it is an established concept. It wouldn't be a
It,
new.
yeah. I mean, yeah, T-Mobile is unlimited now, and but it's important to note that even when there was a net neutrality doctrine fully in place, it did not apply to wireless. So, um, yeah, I mean, I'm happy for the customers because it's data caps are a really big problem. They're a big
Right.
problem because they're also in a big way anti-competitive because you've got all these other services, like, I mean, Netflix can afford, I guess, but you you've got all these other services that are at a competitive disadvantage, because if you watch cable, so they are in effect doing this anyway, right? Because Xfinity is also cable. So
Mm-hmm.
if your choice was, oh, I want to watch HBO on Xfinity cable, or I want to subscribe to HBO Max and get it over the internet, well, clearly you're being disadvantaged. There's a disadvantage here, because even though cable is flowing over the same pipe, I mean, isn't your cable now basically coming digitally anyway? Isn't it being transmitted the same way that, um, as data, just like the internet is?
Yeah. Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
So, but they don't tell you can't watch TV as many hours as you want.
True.
There's no, I mean, they have to broadcast that data to you, right? By all rights, if it's so expensive for Xfinity to send data to your house, then they should limit the amount of television that you're allowed to watch, because the television is data that they're sending over the line, right?
Right.
But somehow that's okay. Like, you could have your TV on 24/7 and there's no cap on that. So, in a way, if you think about it, the cable is has always competed with the streaming services. I mean, streaming services always compete with with cable,
Right.
and there's no data cap on how much TV you can watch. So if you were thinking of, let's say, getting Hulu instead of cable, and you wanted to use Comcast as just internet provider,
Mm-hmm.
that's a deterrent. If
True.
you
True.
right, they're deterring you from, um, using those streaming services, while you can get a lot of the same, but not all the same content on cable. So it is a very much anti-competitive practice. At the same time, though, it's a very problematic practice for a world in which people need internet.
Mm-hmm.
They need internet to work. They need internet for school. It is not a toy. It is a necessity.
Right.
And unfortunately, I mean, I think Xfinity knows this, right? I think Comcast knows that this is a necessity in life, and now it is not a, um, toy. But I think years ago, a lot of people, particularly in the cable business, were like, "Oh, great! This is just another kind of entertainment that we're sending you.
Right.
This entertainment's called the internet." But it's not entertainment. It's a necessity. It's utility, like electricity at this point. So you need it. You now need it for work, school, paying bills. Like,
Right.
uh,
Banking.
things that are not entertaining, right? So
Watching our show.
yeah, yes, I mean, important things, but it all,
Hopefully, hopefully we are also entertaining in addition to being informative.
right. But I mean, the thing is, once you start capping people, then they have to start making these judgment calls. Like,
Right.
do I watch a show? I don't know. That might be some megabytes off my cap.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't want people thinking about it. That's the thing. People should just be able to say, "Hey, I need what I need." The other thing is, I was thinking about data caps today, um, when I turned on my Xbox for the first time in a long time, because I don't need the Xbox anymore, and I actually am giving it away, and I wanted to, reset it. But before it would let me reset it, it insisted on downloading a 4.3 gigabyte, um,
Yep.
update. Now,
Yep.
if I was on data cap, I'd be really irritated, because I'm giving 4.3 gigabytes out of my cap just
Right.
to reset the Xbox and give it away. So, you know, I mean, think about all the things you have that get updated: your Xbox, your operating system for your computer, you've got multiple computers in the house that are all getting updated. I mean, if we have to think about that, I mean, these things can be quite a significant amount of stuff. I mean, if you're saying
Yeah.
like, if you've got to download 5 6 gigabyte update, and you are updating, let's say there's 5 devices in your house that have to download that much update every month, and that's not even counting games that have big updates and DLCs. And I mean, before you've watched a single movie or had a single video call, you're probably in the whole 50 to 100 gigabytes
Mm-hmm.
of your terabyte limit there. So this is a serious problem, but
Yeah.
I I don't see how it gets significantly better next year. Like,
Right.
let's say that COVID gets better, which we all hope, but let's say COVID gets better. Um, that's not that's not going to dramatically change the calculus of how people are using the internet.
Agreed.
There's still going to be plenty of people working from home.
Mm-hmm.
There's still going to be, hopefully kids don't have to go to school on the internet. But whatever the case, there's still going to be an absolute necessity that people have good internet.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know we've done this. I know we've done this math before, but I did it again just to be sure. Um, Producing this show alone would be 2.25% of my monthly data cap if I were on standard Comcast Xfinity for this 90 minutes right here. 2.25%.
Right.
And this is the second live show I've done today.
Right. Right. It's it's a real problem. Now, I guess if you're Xfinity, if I was working for Xfinity, I would argue that, well, you're a power user, Scott, and you should pay the $30 a month because you're broadcasting, whatever. But maybe you should have one of our business plans that costs a ton. But I mean, the reality
Yeah.
is everybody is a broadcaster in 2021, whether
Right.
you're running a show or you are simply talking to people on Zoom. You are
Mm-hmm.
broadcasting live streaming video to the internet all the time.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Oh, and
Um,
don't and
uh
what
oh.
and what if you have a security camera?
Right. True. True. Yeah. And remember, we only stream this show at 720. We're not even at 1080.
Yeah.
And I just watched my bandwidth spike to 5.77 megabits a second. So that's way
Yeah.
higher than the number that I had
So
calculated on. So
I'm happy for the Comcast customers that they don't have to think about this for a year, but this is just going to come up again in a year.
yeah,
I'm sure they're just going to try to put it on again. Uh, I am very concerned about not just about the customers, but about all of the businesses and the media providers, people like us who want people
yep,
to watch a show, who could be hurt by folks having to have cap anxiety and
right,
limit their usage.
exactly. Yeah, because it's not just the people behind Comcast's wall, it's us because people have to make the decision on whether or not they want to use their bandwidth to watch us. It's everybody.
Yeah,
Twitch is going to see issues, and Netflix will see issues.
YouTube,
Yeah, none of
right?
it's great.
Because people are going to censor themselves.
Right.
So what could happen, and this would be have a chilling effect, but I think is legal now, is that a company like a Netflix or a YouTube who has deep pockets could come along and make a deal with Comcast and say, hey,
Hmm.
don't count us against, we're going to give you some money, don't count us against your cap.
Right.
That would give them a competitive advantage with those customers.
Indeed. Yeah. No part of this is good. Hopefully, the end result is that enough pressure will be put on that they don't actually end up implementing this in the 12 states that don't have it. Um, I don't remember if the states that do have it are still under a suspension. Uh, to be honest, I don't remember. But either way, it's not great, and hopefully the end result is that it doesn't go into effect. This week's DRM Not Included on F5 Live is proudly powered by Amazon Prime. You know you get free shipping, but you get a whole lot more. Free music with Amazon Prime Music, free movies, TV, and documentaries with Amazon Prime Video, free games, and a free subscription on Twitch to support the content creator of your choice with Amazon Prime Gaming, and a whole lot more. And we've got quick links to these features and some more as well. A free 30-day trial if you're not already a subscriber. And as a great last-minute gift, we've got the ability to give Amazon Prime as a gift. And all of that can be found by going to f5live.tv/prime. That was a call out for you there, Abram. Back to our earlier topic. So last week we talked about an interesting situation where YouTube, a content provider, was trying to stay on Roku, a platform. The end result of negotiations was in the last few hours, they managed to stay, and YouTube TV managed to stay on Roku. This week, negotiations are a little different. This week, YouTube TV is the platform, and Disney channels were the content. Negotiations did not go quite as well, and as of Saturday at midnight, all Disney-owned networks were pulled from YouTube TV. That includes the entire ESPN collection, the entire FX collection, the Disney Channel, National Geographic, Freeform, I think, 17 in all, plus locals in a number of markets where they were available. So much content was pulled that YouTube actually announced that they were dropping the price of YouTube TV from $65 to $50 a month, which works out to almost $1 a network, which pretty good discount. Obviously, YouTube would prefer to have the Disney channels on their service, but did not appear to be in the cards. From what we can tell, obviously this was about money. YouTube wanted to be treated like a cable provider whose subscription base was the size that it is. Disney wanted to charge them differently. And so here we are. Both Disney and YouTube have recommended that affected customers check out the Disney bundle, which is ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu, which will get back almost everything that was lost, if not live, certainly 5 a.m. the next day. Interestingly, the bundle costs less than the price difference. So if you're not losing anything, it might be a win. But there is obviously stuff that's missing, the ability to watch stuff, appointment, television style. But not a great situation for subscribers.
I mean, it's good for Disney because I think they're going to push people more onto their platform.
Yeah.
I mean, you do lose some things. I'm not sure. Is there National Geographic in the Disney bundle?
Yeah, I think the National Geographic stuff is in Disney Plus now.
Right. I mean, but you also gain some things because there's exclusives on Disney Plus that you can't watch on the Disney Channel. You can't watch any of these Marvel shows like Hawkeye on the Disney channels. So you're gaining something. I mean, I have to think that Disney also just wants people to deal with it directly more. So this forces that. But look, as we've said before, when it comes to streaming, it is very unlikely that you will get everything that you want from one streaming service. You have to mix and match. And by the time you have mixed and matched, you may very well have mixed and matched yourself as to all the way up to what you pay for cable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's now a lot of content that is exclusive on streaming that you cannot otherwise get. So there is no package one size you know great package, right?
Right.
If you want if you want to watch Star Trek, you got to get Paramount Plus. If you want to watch uh if you want to watch the Marvel shows, you got to get Disney Plus. If
See,
you
I thought
want
you
to
were going to say
watch
Star Wars.
if
If
you
you want
want
to
to
watch
watch
Star Trek, you've got to be on Paramount Plus. If you want to watch Star Wars, you got to be on Disney Plus.
Yes, but yeah, it's true. I mean, you got the Book of Boba Fett coming up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to watch, so you can't win, right?
Hmm.
You have to subscribe to the things that are worth it for you, and you have to make judgment calls about what are the things that you're willing to skip.
Yeah.
Uh, and this is just another example of it. YouTube TV tries to be, I think, a catch-all service to replace your cable,
Right.
and people are running into the same thing that they did with cable providers. I think in the end, people who are cord cutters are getting are are basically getting what people have asked for from cable for a long time, which is the ability to pick channels,
Right.
right?
A
A
la
lot of
carte.
people are annoyed about the fact that, oh, I can get, like, I have to buy this package to get the channels I want, but there are all these channels I don't want in the
Hmm.
package. Well, here you go. There's there's an easy way to do it. Just buy different streaming services. The only problem is if you're on Xfinity and you have a data cap,
Right.
uh, then you'll be sorry if everything that you get is on a streaming service, because at some point you will very easily exceed the data cap.
Right. Well, the good news is at least Xfinity comes with Peacock, so you know.
Right. But not for the next year yet.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I think that this kind of move from Disney, who is almost certainly the instigator here, this kind of move is almost certainly the next step in that slide to the end of appointment television
Mm.
that we've talked about for the last couple of years. Because on YouTube TV, it was appointment television. Over on Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, Hulu, not Plus. They stopped calling it that. They were the first there and the first out. Um, so Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus, that's not really appointment television. There's some stuff that you can watch live sports and things like that, but for the most part, that's after the fact, or on its own timetable, if it's exclusive to those platforms. So this is a bit of a slide towards uh, less appointment style television.
Yeah, appointment television is, well, here's the thing. When's the appointment, right?
Right.
Because at one point with streaming, what we saw was that things were like put up for binging, and Netflix still does this.
Yeah.
But other channels, other services, I guess you could say, like like Paramount Plus
Paramount.
and Disney Plus and Prime
Hmm.
do things weekly, or at least with
Yeah.
some shows they do things weekly. So, for example, I am waiting with bated breath for episode 3 of The Expanse season 6 that's going to be coming on Friday. So I guess the appointment would, if I really wanted to keep it, would be like 3 a.m. or something.
Right. Would be the drop time.
Right. So there is an
Yeah.
appointment. It's just
True.
not the appointment you want to keep, an appointment most people want
True.
to keep.
True.
Uh, if they really wanted to, if companies really wanted to say, oh, hey, we want to have something that is quote unquote on in prime time, what they could always do is decide that the drop time was 8 o'clock or something
Right.
instead of um, instead of 3 in the morning.
Sure.
So, I mean, that's
True.
going on with a lot of shows. It's going
Mhm.
on with Star Trek Discovery. It's going on. Uh, it's it's going on with Hawkeye. It's going on with all the shows on Disney Plus. So
True.
they are in a way stretching you out, and you do kind of have an appointment, but the appointment is a little bit more of a flexible appointment in that it's usually, I think I'll watch that Friday, but I don't necessarily have to say I'm going to watch it at 7 o'clock. Which,
Right.
if you have DVR, if you have a DVR,
It hasn't
was
been that
always the
way
case
anyway.
anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Time shifting has been going on for a long time, so should be no surprise there.
Yeah, for sure. So this definitely seems to be a move from Disney, towards their own services. It's one of those, they are both exactly the same as last week to now. They are both a content provider and a platform provider, and so uh, trying to keep everything within their own box, within their own playground, is it seems to be their ultimate goal here. Well, that is our show. Thank you to those of you who joined us live. We had some activity in the chat room tonight, talking about CES earlier and all kinds of stuff. If you'd like to join us in the future, Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, you can go to f5live.tv/join us. There you can chat with us in the studio as the show goes on and give us your feedback as we talk about the topics. If you can't do that, that's okay. plunketslive.com/subscribe will get you all of the shows, F5 Live, Pilch Point, Plunkett's Live Presents, and a whole lot more. Remember, this is our last show of 2021. When we come back, we will be coming back full swing from Las Vegas for CES 2022. We will be streaming our studio setup. We will be doing our pre-show. We will be doing 4 full days of regular show. We will be doing probably 4 full days of post-show, where somebody will take a camera around after we go off the air and give you a behind-the-scenes look into our show experience. Then we've got our awards on Saturday, and then we will stream taking down the studio. So lots of stuff coming, plus a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. So check us out over on YouTube. Remember, YouTube members, yellow and green shirts get content first and ad-free, this show, Pilch Point, and more. So definitely check that out. And with that, on behalf of the staff that's not here, I'm Scott.
I'm Abram.
And until 2022, ciao.